Hey everybody, sad to move you over. So if you're catching it, catch it again. Come on over, I'm live. Let me go back. Can I get the link? Okay. I don't know if y'all can hear me. So we're gonna try this, okay? Welcome back. Thank you. Cause look, we ain't stopping. This is too good. I just had to switch devices. Hello, hello. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, we're gonna keep it pumping because I really am enjoying it. I hope you guys are. I'm gonna go back a little bit. And then I gotta put a new link in and then we're gonna be good to go. So just hang on with me. Just hang with me. And so anyway, I'm gonna just run my mouth while I fix this. But I want to know, what do you guys think so far? Like, what's your thoughts on what you done heard so far? These coming from different type of men. Um, you know, where does that put you? Do the men in the room, do you guys feel that type of stress being a man in this society?
Yeah, what are you talking about? Come on, graham crackers.
Okay, you can hear me. Great. I fixed it. Okay, now we're gonna do it again. Well, this is from Ohio. And then y'all let. It just seems like everybody I knew got pregnant in Ohio. Everybody I knew got pregnant. I mean, I'm just a fluffy girl. I don't have any kids. But all my friends. What? This thing is unequal. What? No. That's why. Y'all. There's no sound. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, hold on. Let me find out what's going on here. You talking about that song that SZA did? All right, guys, hang on. Let me find out why I can hear, but you guys can't hear it. Okay. Sorry. Okay, hold on then. Something's not right. Things ain't going the way I want them to go. Why? If I was talking about some craziness, it would work, right? Hold on. All right, let me see here. My apologies, you guys. I am working it out. I appreciate y'all patience. Can you guys hear me? If you can, just put a one in the chat if you can hear me.
I have no idea what to say.
Okay, so this should work. Hold on. Let's see if this works.
No, really would.
Young man in my 20s because I had an idea of what my wife should do. And it caused a lot of stress.
Why were you the way you were?
You know, I had a lot of anger. I had a lot of pent up rage. I had, you know, some combat stress that I had to deal with also that I wasn't dealing with because men don't show emotion.
There is a social construct that benefits men. And so the responsibility that I've learned as I've gotten older is learning how to not enforce my power, learning over women, over people.
You're saying that that role gives men more
Privilege?
like an advantage and privilege. I'm saying that it is more self-sacrificing. I do not have free time. I do not have hobbies. I do not wake up during the day and do what I want to do, ever. I'm thinking about my wife, my kids, my business.
But that's your decision, and that's not like a mandatory thing of your masculinity.
Well, if you believe that God is true,
I don't.
and you believe that He's God, then you do have that responsibility.
What privileges are you referring to? Like, what privileges do men have?
We've constructed this entire society to benefit us.
Break it down. Like, what privileges exactly?
Like we talk about the wage gap, or if you look at Roe versus Wade, men controlling women's bodies.
Even if there might be those privileges, there's also more men who commit suicide, more men incarcerated.
I think when you talk about like incarceration rates and things like that, like things that men are a victim of, I think that it's important to like recognize, like, I don't think that men are oppressed solely on the grounds that they're men. I think that men like experience oppression based on like the intersections of their identities, which is, you know, why we see like different like lower class jobs being worked by men, or like higher suicide rates, or like incarceration rates going up, because like men, like black men, brown men, indigenous men, queer men, trans men, etc. Those people like face oppression, they experience oppression, but it's not solely due to their identity as a man.
But
I think dating and sex is probably a very interesting place to think about this, because it's a changing field as far as like what people expect of each other.
I date in New York City a lot, and dating-wise, there's a lot that's like asked of a man. Like first dates are like nightmares.
I got a question on that, yeah.
Dude, it's like, I'm like, what do you want? They got like a checkbox, like, are you gonna pick me up? Are you gonna walk on the outside of the sidewalk? Are you gonna open the door? Are you gonna pull out the seat? Are you gonna pay for the meal? Are you gonna be interesting during the dinner? Are you gonna be funny during the dinner? And then when you walk home, are you gonna drop me off? Are you gonna watch me walk inside? And then are you gonna text me after? And it's like trying to defuse a bomb. Like if you think you're like red wire, blue wire, and you're like one little thing and you're just done. And it's like, I'm to the point where I'm like, I'm so tired of like paying $150 for a first date, and then you just ghost me. And the next week I'm like hurting for cash. I'm like, I could have really used that $150. Like, why did I have to, you know what I'm saying?
The trade-off of like going on a date and as the man being like, oh, this sucks, I have to pay, or as the woman being like, oh, this sucks, I might get murdered, is like a pretty big, you know, imbalance.
On a first date, should the man, or whoever identifies as the man on the date, pick up the check? Show of hands, who thinks yes?
Yeah, should is a weird.
Yeah, shit's a weird way to put it.
Okay, sorry. How would you put it?
I much love gender roles. I like masculine men, and I want my masculine man to pick the check up. My friends seem to be the same. My girlfriends seem to want that as well. But I have a male friend who was naturally doing that, and with the dates he was going on with women, they were offended that he like took the check. So I think like, hey, if this woman doesn't want him to pay and she wants to show she can pay, go off.
I think it's a matter of preference. Like, you know, if someone picked it up for you, like you develop a kind of rapport, respect with that person, like, so be it. If the other person, you know, the woman you're with doesn't want that, then maybe it's not the match for that person. So I think it's dependent on the situation.
I think that there's such a thing as financial abuse. And men seem a lot of time, because they spend, that a woman has to be under them or owes them something.
I think that's when you get toxic.
Me personally, I love to take care of my partner. I love that feeling that I give them, that they're taken care of when they're with me. And that's when it's with friends, anybody. If you're with me, I got you.
Like, I guess what I'm hearing from you, Andre, is that there's like a lot of pressure to inhabit the masculine side of the social expectation, and yet you might not get the benefit that you would have expected generations ago. And that puts you in a weird position.
Yeah, well, we live in a city where there's 8 million people, and you know, a lot of these girls, especially if you're really attractive, guys are hitting on them all day. So they feel like celebrities. You got so many options. I don't blame you. I'd be the same way. It becomes like a...
I want to hit on that. I want to hit on that because I hear men say that. The fact that men hit on you all day is not a positive. Because I think a lot of men don't know or realize sometimes what other men will say to a woman. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny or mean, but I think men should experience that. Like, if you're walking down the street, ladies, let's just start hitting on this. Not hitting them physically, but like, hey, what's up? Smile. You looking good. What's up? Okay, let me quit.
Somebody better.
I think technology has a big part to do with that now. Like modern times, like online dating, Instagram.
Especially as a girl, you're gonna have 30 DMs a day.
Yeah, the DMs.
You know what I'm saying? Swipe it up on your picture.
I think that's a big reason why it can be tougher for some men.
Not successful.
I think what he's saying is there's a
successful.
toxicity to femininity as well. There is a toxic side to both genders.
Well, I think anybody can be narcissistic, but I think that it's like weird to randomly attribute that to like women in New York because they're being complimented all day.
There's a term, it's called absolute power corrupts absolutely. So, but that is, when we're talking about masculinity, that's what we've had. We've typically had that. We can do whatever we want, and we do it because we squeeze, we corrupt, we take. Historically, you take over things, places that you don't like, and you make the winning, and you take the gold, and you do what you want because you have that power. Now, when we see women have that power, we're like, whoa, she's literally just getting a taste of the power that men have had for centuries.
But on the flip side of this perspective of dating, of like the poor guy who goes on these dates and gets ghosted and it's a struggle to date, on the other side of that is men have more sex, men cheat more, they have more affairs. So if I'm a woman and I'm looking for a guy, I would be really selective. I would have a list of what I was looking for, and the guy would have to meet those standards and they would be high.
I think that over the last several years, the Me Too movement has given a lot of insight into what women are feeling in the workplace, what they're experiencing, how they're being abused and otherwise silenced, how institutions of power have kept them silent. And we've heard some really awful stories and some terrible shit.
I want to hear this. I don't want any man to get the wrong idea. The reason why I'm doing this is because I think it's necessary. If you, as a man, I will automatically admit that men and women, and I'm saying this for a reason, so please, I hope no one gets offended. Men and women have set up a society that has continued to regurgitate these particular actions and things in our community. And now that they're out of hand, now that it's become dangerous, we want to look at it and go, oh no, all men need to do is this, all women need to do is that. No, that's not even it. We have to deal with the fact that men are pressured to be something that they're not. You know what I'm saying? I think men have to carry a load, and a lot of men don't. How can you carry something and you don't have the tools to carry it? Of course, everyone is an individual, but unfortunately, there's a large majority of men who are suffering out here. The unalive rates are high. You know, the cry for being lonely, the incel movement, you know, dudes running over women or, you know, feeling lonely, and not just straight heterosexual relationships. I'm saying in any relationship. What's up, Noble? So I want to create a space, because again, being a part that I am a part of a young man's life going into this society, I want to know, what does it mean now to be a man in 2023? What does that look like? And we can't continue to argue about it because it's not nothing to argue. It is about right, exactly, Noble. Men ain't allowed to be men because we don't even know what the definition of that is. When I say that, I mean that there's so many different flavors of men, right? There's so different types. You got your jocks, and I'm just using generic ones. You know, you got your jocks, you got your nerds. We're always categorizing men in these particular places. And I say we because men and women still continue to push this narrative. We haven't stopped. So just as women should get together and talk amongst women and create safe spaces so that we can talk about these things and get these emotions out, I think more men should do that, and it's not looked at as weak. And I think a lot of men have to stop because you're afraid to deal with your traumas, whatever your emotions are, whatever your feelings, whatever, because they all tie together. That's on you, but don't do that to another person. You know what I mean? No, but we're not gonna do that because it's men and women. Now, if we're gonna do it, it's men and women. Okay, so we talk about being fair, we talk about equality, then let's be equal. Tonight is about toxic masculinity and about being a man and what that looks like for other men and for the young men coming up behind you and the old men that's still living. All right, I'm gonna keep it pushing.
From you guys, what you think about what the Me Too movement did? Has it gone too far? What does it mean for you?
I think it's good for women to expose men who are doing evil things in the workplace. I think it's been a good thing in exposing sexual abuse. There's also the opposite side of that coin where women are allowed privilege to do certain things that men are not. So in the workplace, I was working at a place where a woman was grabbing me inappropriately, doing things that were inappropriate. And when you bring that up to your coworkers, you know what they say? They laugh and they say, you should be excited, right? So if a man is sexually abused, the stigma totally changes.
Well, I don't think Me Too necessarily is what prevented people from believing you and your story. And your story is valid, I'm not here to suppress that, but I do think that it's worth noting women are far more likely to be victims of sexual assault.
You just experienced a little bit of weakness that women feel most of the time.
When we're talking about constructs, you guys are saying we need to deconstruct masculinity. I'm saying there are unequal biases with both genders.
When it comes to it not necessarily being as viewed as valid, it happens to be the case because of other men, though. You know what I'm saying? Other men are the people that downplay that, and that's where we come back to the talk of, patriarchy and things like that.
Was put in place by men and is enforced by men.
Well, and I went for a walk to get dinner last night, and I walked several blocks because I wanted to check out a few things, and it was dark. Not a single time did the idea that I would be physically or sexually assaulted cross my mind. Not a single time. Now, I can imagine that doesn't really work out for women.
It comes down to biological differences. As a man, you're more likely to be able to have more of a chance to fend off someone attacking you. As a woman, not really. So that's why, we have things like mace and tasers or having a gun.
Is it something about it's hard to admit that you're a victim?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And to complain about it. People will look at you like, remember Terry Crews? You can get his nuts squeezed and shit.
Right. It's like, why didn't you do something? Why'd you let him?
Look how the world ridiculed him. Oh, you ain't do nothing, oh, you a bitch, So we as men, especially super guys that grew up in super masculine, we don't really like to admit weakness.
Well, and it's in our language, right? Don't be a bitch, don't be a pussy.
Right.
It's very real.
We internalize that.
Yeah. That's all examples of toxic masculinity. It's never to invalidate somebody's experience, but it must be obvious that these are rules and roles enforced by men and created by men.
Well, in toxic masculinity and power kind of go hand in hand. I mean, we're talking about peanut butter and jelly.
You know what it is? I think sometimes we got to go to work and if we're caught complaining about it, we're admitting weakness. It's you're not a man.
How does that feel?
It doesn't feel great, but that doesn't stop me from doing what I need to do. If you talk about a little bit of pressure that goes with it, yeah, there's a little bit of pressure. If you can withstand it, you become a successful man.
But what does that have to do with being a man? Surely a woman can do all those things, so why even attribute it to your gender?
That's a good point, but I think also, if you're talking in terms of biological differences, generally men are more logical, right? More reasoning, more
I
factual
disagree.
based.
There is no scientific backing for that whatsoever.
I just think it's a commonly used stereotype. I mean, I'm not.
So
I'm just maybe
All
talking
right,
about,
guys,
okay,
hold on. I'm gonna put the link up here. You don't have to have Zoom or download it if you want to join, because as we get closer, I want to definitely have you guys up and, you know, let's talk about it. All right, let's see here. Let me give y'all this Zoom link. It's just me. Let me copy. Yeah. I'm on my tablet, guys, so just hang out. I appreciate y'all being so patient with me right now. I hope you guys are enjoying the information. I hope you guys want to talk about it. I really do. I really do. I hope y'all do. Okay, here we go. Let's see. All right, here we go. I hope you guys are enjoying the information. I hope you guys want to talk about it. I really do. I really do. I hope y'all do. Okay, here we go. Let's see. All right, here we go. I hope you guys are. Oh, I done messed it up. Hold on. I'm special. Bear with me, y'all. I'll have it together next time. Listen. I'll go back to the YouTubes. That's where we're going. Jeez Louise. Holy snack pack, Teresa. But I saw this, you know, I have a lot of conversation, my brother and I, we have a lot of conversations. And thankfully, I've had the opportunity to talk to a lot of different men over the years. And, you know, it definitely has given me that opportunity. He was ready to fight black men. No, it doesn't. It doesn't, bougie. The camera doesn't automatically come on. And you can make sure that's off, babe. I don't have mine on either, so don't worry about that. All right, let's get back in it, y'all. I got what you're saying, real. Yeah, that was, I don't know. I think it should have been done a different way. I think maybe he should have been around men, you know? Okay, guys, come on up, please. Come hang out. We're going to pause right there. There's so much in that we can discuss. So just hit the link and come on up and let's talk this out. Beat up. Sorry, I'm just playing. Because I definitely am going to do a part 2, but I want to test out the Zoom. So come on up. Come on up. Okay, it's me. So please come on up. But I wanted to, I want to talk about that. You know, it's crazy because especially black men, right? And it's not just for you guys, it's also for other men, because it sounds like to me that no matter whatever your sexual proclivity is, that men in this society are going through the same thing. Hello. Who this be? Hello? I can't hear you. Are you unmuted? Hello? Oh, you can't, you playing games. You messing with me. Let me see. Hold on. Where's your mic? All I see is your camera. You can come out and come back in. Oh, okay, real. Well, I'm glad that you came by for real. But yeah, I mean, it really is. It ties all into it, right? Because it's like when the pressure on you is to maintain as a person, right? Um, it really is about making those different type of changes and creating opportunity for people to have safe spaces and discuss what's going on. I mean, that's what we do on YouTube. That's why you have different things for different people. I mean, all over the place. And it gives people opportunity. It gives people opportunities they normally wouldn't have, especially with us being able to connect all over the world. And at any given time of the night. So I'm looking at that also to add to the foundation, a place where Black men and Black women and Black LGBTQ and Black, however you identify, and Black children have a safe space to talk about their everyday. It's heavy out here. And we've told people for so long, suck it up, deal with it. But we all need somebody to lean on. We all need somebody to talk to. Hello? Where your mic at? We having technical difficulties. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, cool, because I couldn't hear you. What's up?
Just chilling. I just wanted to
Well,
get up here and be with you for a minute.
all right. What's on your mind? Let's talk about it.
I just think that I mean, this is just my perspective.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I don't want people to take this as the gospel or nothing. I just think that our men are really acting like women right now. I mean, I watch a lot of YouTube channels and social media, the direction of the culture. And what I see is that our women is like at the forefront. And ain't nothing wrong with that. But us as men gotta be able to come together and, embrace each other and help each other heal, because a lot of the mothers are doing that. They had classes on how to heal each other and yoni steams and all types of shit like that. Yeah, we do our semen retention shit, but it's not enough of that. As far as us as being a brotherhood and being a better image or role model for our women, so they can trust us, so they can know we got them. You know what I'm saying? They can go to the marketplace while we go out there and we hunt and gather. They don't gotta worry about somebody coming and invading the village. And the way that our men is acting is that, this red pill shit and, men are the prize shit, yeah, we are the prize, but our women is the prize too. She the treasure. Don't forget about that. Because without her, there is no you. And without you, there is no her. And so we have to really get into the alchemy of the higher lower self, the masculine and feminine. You know what I'm saying? The sun and the moon. We have to get more into the science and not the rhetoric and not the debate and really start figuring out what this science is that our ancestors and our forefathers and foremothers left for us. And if we still want to sit up here and argue simple points, that's cool, but that's gonna keep us stagnated to what we really supposed to be doing right now. And I'm gonna land right there. I'm sorry, mother. I ain't mean.
No, you don't have to apologize. That's the reason why I opened it up, because I wanted to have that conversation. And I get what you're saying, but the but is for this side. How do we do all those things and we're not really willing to have the hard conversation? And to say that men are acting like women is to say what? What does that mean exactly?
Okay,
Because
so
if
go ahead,
men,
mother.
if
I'm
men
sorry.
are acting like women, is that to a feminine part of it, or is it that because what it I know this is not what you said, but what is projected is men acting like women is perceived as weak. Am I on the right track? Go ahead.
Um, based on what modern women say about men, they say that, men are weak, men are, simps, even the red pill movement. If you're not an alpha male and you ain't out here saying you the prize, you know what I'm saying, you a simp, you a wimp. You know
And
what I'm saying?
you're making my point. That's exactly why I showed that video, because I know you came in a little later, but
Yeah,
showing the fact that these men are telling a truth that before was not allowed. That is weighing and taxing on a person when not allowing you just to be a human being.
yeah. You always got to be upon a label of what a man is instead of being your personality or who you is.
Exactly. And so then we set up our men to be put in these certain type of positions where they fucking lose it.
Right.
They act out. It's like
Right.
when you put, so if we know for sure that children will unalive themselves due to pressure, why do we think that as adults we're able to handle pressure better when we do the same thing when it's too much?
I
And
think
even
because
though, go ahead.
I think because we think we adults, because we reached a certain age limit and we actually think that we're adults. But being adult is being able to, go through your your inner child trauma. And a lot of us don't want to face that shit. We don't want to face our trauma. We don't want to cry. Especially men. We don't want to cry. So what's that book Sister Soldier wrote? Men Cry in the Dark, or was that Toni Morrison?
I
One of
think
them,
it's
Men
Toni
Cry in the Dark.
Morrison. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think.
Men Cry in the Dark. We don't want nobody to see our vulnerabilities because we've been given this post or this position that we're supposed to be strong and logical and reasoning and all these things. We was never taught how
Mhm.
to balance.
There it is.
We was never taught how to balance. So even our young children right now have to learn how to balance those two, especially right now because they got so much happening right now, especially as far as downloads
Mhm.
and shit. So they have to learn how to balance the emotional and the mental.
Right. And if you don't have the tools to create that safe space for yourself, how are you going to create it for anyone else? And we have all gone through trauma. There's nothing wrong with saying you've gone through trauma. Yes, I understand people use these words and throw them around, but we're going to talk about what they really fucking mean. And that's where I feel like that's where we miss the mark. It's like we have these surface conversations, but the truth is this: our society, men and women, that's it. Men and women started this society. We're gonna just stick to the United States of America, right? They came here with the same ideals they had. Men and women. When they got here, the indigenous were a lot more fluid. Yes, did they have roles? You got roles in every situation, even down to any different species or however, you have roles. Some are natural roles, some are learned roles, but I think that what happens, we're humans because we have choice, our biases against one another gear us into deciding that this is the position that we need to take. Say, for instance, if I decide to go back out here and date, and because I've been hurt, and I've been hurt by these different types of men, and now all men go get the same treatment because I got this treatment.
Right,
And that's what's happening, no matter male or female. Go ahead.
Right. And I think that, and this is just me talking, and you know, one thing that I know that neither men and women really do is take time out after they come out of a relationship, whether it's toxic or good. We never give ourselves time. You know what I'm saying? We ready to jump into the next thing. We never give ourselves time to heal. And I think that if we gave ourselves that healing period between relationships, you know what I'm saying? Between even having a fling with somebody, having a, you know, that we'll be able to heal ourselves. Because a lot of things that we do is trauma based. If you really think about it, just really think about
Well, it all is, right. It all is. It's imprints on us. Every relationship, whether that's your relationship from relationship you have with your spiritual leader, or the relationship you have with your mother, father, sister, brother, cousin, friend, the relationship that is most important though is the relationship with yourself. Who are you when no one else is there?
And that's what I'm saying, mother. And that's what I'm saying. I think that we don't spend enough time with ourselves rather than trying to find something or a love or a connection outside ourselves. Not saying that we don't need that, but the first thing that we need is a connection with ourselves. You know what I'm saying? To be able to do the shadow work, to be able to deal with our traumas, to be able to imagine and figure out what's holding us back versus somebody telling us what's holding us back. And a lot of these things is based upon public opinion.
Well, let's talk about the public. Let's talk about the public. We use these terms, public, society, word, so on and so forth, but there really is a handful of people who have pushed this narrative through music, through movie, through television, through action, neighborhood action. Because you remember, I don't know if you remember or not, I'm not going to assume, but like the song Keeping Up with the Joneses, there was no internet.
Yeah.
And people
I'm in that era. I will be 50 in February 12th. I'll be celebrating my 50th
50
birthday.
years young, ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, no
But that's
doubt.
what I'm saying. Like Keeping Up with the Joneses, that was a song in the 50s, and I think in the 50s or 60s. That encompasses what we still are seeing. that you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. The Joneses can be trying to keep up with alpha men. The Joneses is trying to keep up with the elite, or keep your money right, or keep up with the neighborhood dude that all the ladies like, or so on and so forth. Whatever is driving you to be a part of this particular community. It's
This
in
the ball.
everything we do. Right. It's
Yeah.
like, instead of, okay, everybody moves into a neighborhood, everybody buy a house, right?
Mm-hmm.
But is each house gonna be cost the same?
I wouldn't think so.
Is each house gonna be decorated the same?
No, they're not.
And the only way you know that is either because you know the person, or you done looked it up, or you done been in their house, right?
But
It,
also
it
knowing,
yeah, go ahead.
but also knowing that every house is not built the same.
Exactly.
Just like
Exactly.
and
So,
that
but
and that
ultimately though, we're all in the same neighborhood though, right? So as it goes up, as that pinnacle goes up, we're all in the same neighborhood, even though we're still different. That's it. We're all in the same neighborhood. We're all different. But if one neighbor starts to mess with another neighbor, that changes the situation. Now you got people taking sides. Now it might be a problem, so on and so forth. So things can trigger these particular scenarios. And there's these different nuances. But when it comes to men and being in the American society, you are put into a position of using old values with new ways of thinking,
and
and
I
it's going
think
to collide.
and I think that's the problem. I think that us as black men is still trying to assimilate into a white man's world. You know, we still trying to play the game by their rules, you know, and you know, we actually got the law on our side. If we know how to execute the law and we know how to use the law, we got the law on our side. A lot of things, just like if you have a LLC, right, and you turn it into a S corp, and then you have a what they will call a whole life insurance policy. You could put all that shit inside of a trust, let it mature 20 years, and can draw up to 100 to $250,000, $250,000 off of it. And there's a lot of things that we don't know because we still inside of a
Well,
rat
we have
race.
to get past, right. We have to get past those particular things. There are hurdles in our community. And when we speak to the Black community, there are hurdles in our community where, yes, we all get frustrated as people of color who are trying to spread information, and we feel as though, people ain't listening or they not understanding. It's not that. And I'll tell you, and what I do believe it is that who has time? And that's what they thinking, because my time is caught up in trying to get my money, trying to take care of my kids, trying to take care of my family, my wife, my job. I'm
Yeah,
exhausted mentally
I
from trying
understand.
to hold up and juggle all of these hats.
I
And
understand.
then you see
I
what I'm saying? Like, and for men, y'all have to juggle hats at just like women do. We have to juggle hats, but I want to talk about the frailty of if Black men don't start fighting for their own safe spaces, and I'm talking safe spaces, not this red pill, blue pill, whatever
right,
pill, this
right.
misogynistic
Uh-huh.
masculinity bullshit. I'm saying, bruh, I'm having a hard time with XYZ. I'm tired. Can I talk to you about this? The same way
Right,
they do with NAAA, the whole thing.
right.
They need a BA. They
I
need a
agree.
BMA, Black Man's Anonymous, and y'all need to be able to
I
talk y'all
agree.
shit out.
I agree.
I think it would change your lives.
But I mean, and I think that's the problem, that men don't want to pull their skirts up and show their dirty drugs and actually show their vulnerabilities. You know what
I
I'm
think
saying?
I think it's not on their own though. See, it has to be something. Like for instance, like I said,
My thing is this: I tried my best. With everything I do on YouTube, even on my YouTube channel, I try to be as transparent as possible. You know what I'm saying? Without a person, because I know a person gonna judge me anyway.
well,
But
yeah, we all do.
but
We all do.
what I don't want to do is give
Mm-hmm.
a person wrong information. They can feel about me how they want to feel about me. You know what I'm saying? They can say what they want to say, but I want to make sure that I'm giving people right information. You know, because especially us as men, you know what I'm saying? It's not so much that we have to be at a standard of where women want us to be at. We have to be at a standard of us as individual men. We have to raise ourselves to our own standard. You know what I'm saying? Because if
Well, exactly. I think it's a human standard in the sense of this. We all want to be respected, right? We all want to be treated well. We all want to have someone that we can trust. We all want to feel acknowledged, appreciated. These are things that down the line, no matter what your sex is, you need these things to thrive. Now we can easily understand that with children. That's why we push and say, well, they need a support system. It takes a village to raise a child.
right,
What happens to the village when the child grows up?
right. And that's
Doesn't
what
the
I'm
child
talking
become
about.
a part? Right. Like, then what are we doing for? It takes a village to raise anything. It takes a
Okay,
village to raise a man, to raise a woman, to raise a
right,
child, however you
right.
want to put it.
Well,
That
well,
all of us still need to be a part of it.
well,
And
what
I'm not
I
talking about being nosy. I'm saying like be a ear,
what
help someone. You know what I'm
okay,
saying?
right. But what I see though, mother, and I really applaud what the sisters do. They go on retreats. They go on their healing things. They working with their chakras. They using tuning forks. They got organs. They out here detoxifying their bodies. I'm not saying that brothers not doing this, but the
I
sisters
got
have.
you. It's not at the level like you could even find if we're talking about YouTube, you can find all the everything you name for women on YouTube, right? You can find different groups. You can find that. That is very true. Do I see a lot of that for the men? No, because again, that means vulnerability. And again,
Yeah.
if to what you said earlier, I know it's just it has become something we just say without even thinking it. But
Mm-hmm.
let me just I'm gonna end on this high note. Vagina is the strongest muscle in the world. I just want y'all to know that. Like, so to say that a person is
It's
acting like a
supportive. It's
huh?
supportive. It's
It
supportive.
is so listen, it's a portal, it's a holder of children. It is
Right.
strong, it can snap back, it can change shape, it can do a lot of things, and it's very versatile. So I think men should really think about that when they
It's the
call
fountain of
these
youth. It's the fountain of youth. The holy chalice. It's the fountain of youth. The holy chalice.
So listen, I unfortunately because my laptop died, I got to get a new fan. But I wanted to test this out. This has been such a cool experience. I'm glad y'all came in. I am going to do this again and more frequently. And thank you so much for coming up and having this conversation with me. Please leave me any comments or anything. Subscribe. You know the deal, and I appreciate y'all so much. We're gonna do this again because I definitely want to do a part 2 and have more. Let's discuss this more. Yes, let's allow our men to be vulnerable and let's see if that is going to assist in all of this pent up anger,
I'm
all
an
of this
open
pent up
book.
resentment.
I'm an open
All
book.
of,
I'm
but
an
see,
open book.
again, you have to. That's because you're comfortable with you.
Yeah.
Everybody ain't comfortable with themselves. You said that. Everybody don't want to look in the mirror and see who they really are. It's a hard
Mhm.
thing to do.
Don't nobody want to look in the man in the mirror and ask him to change
Nah,
his ways.
Michael said it, but don't nobody want to do it. All right. So I'm gonna let y'all go.
All right,
I'm gonna say
man. I'll
goodnight.
catch you on the next live.
Yes, yes. All right, y'all. Thank you. Y'all have a good night.